Hey folks, Sean here at GDC 2013, and I've got Robin from Paradox here to show us Knights of Pen and Paper. Robin, for anybody who's not heard of this game, tell us what it's all about.
Knights of Pen and Paper is what we call meta RPG developed by Brazilian developers Behold Studios. It was released for mobile devices on October last year, and now we've partnered up with each other to release the game for PC, Mac and Linux as well on Steam, but we're also doing a relaunch for mobile platforms, and we're going to update the game as well, calling it a +1 edition.
Great. Why don't we go ahead and jump straight into the demo here so we can see the game in action?
Yeah, absolutely. So what you see here is pretty much the table and the setup. This will follow you throughout the game. This is my Dungeon Master right now, and when you start a new game, you pretty much have to add the role players to your group, which first consists of a choice of a character, like the person who's going to be role-playing this. So I have a bunch of different options here, like the Rocker or Paris, E.T., Ronaldo, who's actually one of the developers. And every developer also has, or every character, also the developers, have a passive trait that they bring with them to the table.
So of course Ronaldo is a drinker.
Yes, apparently he's the only one who drinks alcohol at Behold Studios. That doesn't mean he drinks a lot though. So pretty much the character has a basic trait, and then you have to select the class the character is playing. So we have the warrior, rogue, mage, druid, cleric, bunch of different pretty generic RPG characters. And every class has 4 different skills that they bring with them. So it's a good idea here to sort of find a good fit between character and class. I'm gonna start here by playing a little brother mage, I think. Little brother is unquiet, so he brings high initiative. That's good. Yeah, and then I'm gonna add somebody who's good as a paladin. That's a good tank class, so I'm gonna go with, I think Grandma is a good choice. Yeah, Grandma is pretty loud, so she adds extra threat, which is good. Alright. Here we go then. Pretty much gonna click this icon. Is always sort of the quest progression or story progression, depending on what you're doing currently in the game. Character do a lot of talking in between each other, like the Dungeon Master and the players are talking throughout the game. So here we are, like the beginning of the game. You start off in a generic prison dungeon. You're entrapped here, and you have to get out of there. You have no idea why. And as we're playing the entire group, so the Dungeon Master, you're actually controlling that one as well in many aspects. So in this case, I'm going to do battle with a few guards, and I get to choose like how many guards I want to fight, depending on what I think the group can handle. So I could add, like in this case, up to 7 guards. I might not make that. So, and I also just only need to kill the 2. So
and it's got that little slider there to tell you how easy or hard that battle's going to be.
Yeah, exactly. So you get an indicator of sort of where you're at. Like after a while, you sort of get your own judgment on that pretty good. Like you know pretty much what you can handle and not. It's a good thing for new players. So the combat is pretty easy. You have first an initiative roll, so you see the little numbers here beneath the characters shows in what order they get to do their actions, since it's turn-based. And in this case I'm low level, so I just have the basic attack ability here. But also later on you have a bunch of active abilities you can use. You can drink different potions. You can also take a defensive stance, reducing your threat level, or you can try to chicken out a battle if you've sort of taken water over your head. So right now I'm just gonna kill off these guards to move on a little. There we go. Victory. And as you can see here, since I took on 2 enemies at once, I get a 10% group bonus for my XP. Also get a little more gold and stuff, so it's always better to try to take on more enemies, like a higher challenge at any given time. You get a lot more bonus for that. But on the other hand, if you want to play it safe, you can take on fewer at a time if you think that that's easier for you.
So what's the penalty then if you sort of overexert yourself and end up dying?
Well, if you die, you can always resurrect your characters. You will pretty much get kicked back to an earlier position in the game, like a safe place. And you have like a bunch of gold that you need to use to resurrect your character, like it costs to resurrect. If you run out of gold, there's sort of like an even higher penalty. You still get resurrected, but you go back to the default village and you lose a bunch of experience. But the interesting thing is that you have the option to play several games at once, and the gold is global for every party. So like I can have a high level party playing the adventure. They might have gathered like 500 gold. Then I can start a new game with a lower level party and I still have access to that 500 amount of gold. So here you see the context menu of every location. Right now I'm in a village, so I have a little more options here. I can choose to like just attack enemies, find a bunch of monsters to fight, just to get some extra gold or experience. I can use the world map here to travel around the pen and paper world. I also have the option to sleep at the inn. You can sleep at any location, but it's safe to sleep in villages and cities. If you sleep out in the wild, you always run the risk of getting attacked. And here's the quest icon. So once again, as a dungeon master, I get to sort of create my own quests. So in this case, I can choose to slay a bunch of rats, or maybe I should rescue grandpa or a merchant perhaps, or collect a bunch of blood gemstones for the local hunter. And if I start a quest, there's always going to be sort of like a scripted event where the dungeon master tells me what happens. Girl approaches us, the party starts talking about if she's cute or not.
So do you have more quest options as the game goes on, or does it just give you all of them at the beginning?
All the quests are available from the beginning, but they're limited to the location you're at. So every given location has a bunch of quests available. So that's sort of what limits what kind of quests you can do or not. So like here it's a bunch of easy quests, but if I go to a harder or more dangerous location, there's going to be maybe I should slay a dragon or something more like epic. There's also an item shop. I can buy a bunch of consumable items here, potions and stuff. It can help me for harder battles, and also a bunch of trinkets and stuff I can buy here. I should just get my level up as well. Like, this is pretty straightforward. Every skill progresses in a straight line, so I can just choose in this case to get a meteor. That's really good. Here I'm just gonna grab a passive ability for the paladin. It's good. So here we are again at the beginning where we started the adventure. This is the real world, so to speak, and here I can buy a bunch of snacks, for example, for my party. Just gonna go and grab a pizza here. So now I have a 2% critical chance for 15 minutes. There's a bunch of other stuff I can buy here, like I can change the table, gives me permanent effects. I could switch between other dungeon masters as well. I can start furnishing the room, adding stuff there, that also gives permanent effect. This is just as the goal is a global thing for the party, so no matter what game I'm playing, I'll always have the same furnitures in the room. It's like different role-playing groups playing at the same location. So this is like the basic version of the game that we have today, but I'm gonna enter another game here. Go here. This is a higher level group that we have. So I'm gonna show you a few of the updates we've done so far. Most of these are based on community feedback, like we already know what a lot of the players have been asking for. So one example is previously it was a bit difficult to travel from location to location. You basically had to pick one nearest location, go there, get into the sort of the location screen, then go back out on the map and travel to the next. So now we just added a pretty simple fast travel system, so I'll be able to just select my final destination and just travel the entire way. It goes a lot faster. Like existing customers will know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go here to Sunset Castle to show you a few other things. Here we are. This is like the capital city of the pen and paper world. So here I have access to a new feature we call the Tavern, which is a place for me to be able to drop off a few characters. I can drop off 2 characters here, then I come back out here, and I can add a new new guy to the party. I'll take the pizza guy since he's cheap. So now I've added, removed those two and added an extra character. Now I can play with him, sort of like he's a warrior, so I can try him out and see if that works better for me. If it doesn't, I can always just go back into the tavern. I can drop off the warrior and just get the other ones back again. So previously you would pretty much have to start a game all over again from the beginning. And since we have a bunch of unlockable characters and classes in the game, we know that players during an adventure might say, oh, I just unlocked a barbarian, I want to try him out. So now it's a bit easier for players to do that.
I think we can check out what a battle looks like with this high level team here.
Absolutely. Let me show you one of the other features we've added. This is new locations on the map we call dungeons, which is a more challenging place for players to go to sort of get more gold and more experience. And in a dungeon, the ultimate goal is to get into the boss room over here. But to do that, you have to get through this door, so you have to find the golden key. So when I go to another room in the dungeon, there's gonna be oh, I got the key immediately. That's good. So now I can get into the boss room, but I have to get there still. So just go to the next room here. Now there's a dice roll. I hit a trap. That's not good. Oh, that's really dangerous. I don't have any consumables. That was bad of me. You should really prepare for the dungeon fights, get a bunch of potions and maybe add a pizza to the game room to get those temporary buffs, because the dungeons are really difficult.
I have the same motto in life: when in doubt, have a pizza.
Yeah, totally. Here we go. I've encountered a bunch of...
These characters look a little familiar.
Yeah, I believe these are the elder samurai turtles we have in the game. They're sort of based on different famous composers. We have Mozart and Beethoven there. Let's see if I can survive this. It wasn't good to hit a trap just before this fight. Okay, I'm gonna do a harmonic movement, get some healing for my mage there. Alright, so there's a bunch of different things you can encounter in these dungeons, other than the fight and the traps I hit, you can also get healed, or you might find some extra treasure, and there's a very, very rare chance that you might find a very special merchant that can sell you really epic items. So it's a good thing to always have a good stash of gold with you while going into the dungeon, because in case he appears, you don't want to be out of money, because that would totally suck. We've also done a few improvements to the combat system with the +1 edition. We've added a bunch of elemental damages and resistance on enemies to sort of make fights a bit more interesting. Previously they would be a bit more static and predictable, but now, depending on the enemies you encounter and depending on the sort of party setup you have, it's going to be a whole nother set of difficulties. So I might make this fight, but I'm pretty much screwed on getting to the boss, I think, by now. This is very, very, very difficult. I did this before with level 20 characters, and that was still pretty difficult from time to time. So that's pretty much what we want to do, because we've heard a lot of our customers, they love the game, but they want more of a challenge, they want more content, more stuff to do. The fast travel system is a good example as well. People were so annoyed with that. I'm probably gonna make this battle, but I won't be able to do the boss since this is a level 12 dungeon, and as you can see, my guys are only level 9 and 8, so it's pretty difficult. But this is the sort of stuff we want to add with the +1 edition. A bunch of stuff that players have been asking for already. They love the game, but they want more of a challenge sometimes. Some players find the game a bit too easy. We also want to add more stuff for the players to do, like content and places to explore. And also, like I showed you earlier with the fast travel system, it's just one of those easy things. So many people complained about that, and it was pretty much an easy fix for us. We just had to figure out how it should work.
Sounds good. So when is Knights of Pen and Paper going to be out?
We haven't set a release date yet, but we're looking sometime this summer.